One of the things I talk about a lot is real estate investing because it has been very powerful for me.
Mm-hmm.
But a big hurdle, which is very understandable, is that first property, dealing with tenants, finding contractors, dealing with broken dishwashers, because it's a lot. For somebody who is thinking about buying a property, let's think about it this way. Would you recommend somebody buy a rental property first or their own home first?
So we talk about this a lot actually on the Rich Habits podcast that I co-host with Robert. And I largely agree. It was his idea, and I'm not a real estate professional. He's owned dozens of properties throughout his life. He's 58 years old. And so we have concluded that the best way to get started in real estate is to house hack, right? That's to go buy the duplex, the triplex, the quadplex. Get over your ego. You can live in a duplex, triplex, or quadplex. You'll be fine. You don't need a beautiful single family mansion. Go get one of these pieces of real estate. Use the Fannie Mae 5% down loan. They'll I think it's up to 1.2 million that they'll lend you at just a 5% down. So it's just very close to my 3.5. I know it's different for every lender, but there's a loan out there that allows you to do it for 5 if you have good credit. And you buy the duplex, you live in one side, you rent out the other side, and hopefully that subsidizes a lot of the monthly mortgage because of your rent. Maybe it's a triplex, like whatever you want to do here. But that, I believe, is going to be the best way for anyone to get started in real estate, because after you've lived in it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you want to go finally get the townhouse or the single family home with your wife or girlfriend or whatever you want to have a family. You can then say, cool, I've got this tenant here and this tenant here. And combined, because I've been able to raise rents over the last 5 years, they are now offsetting the mortgage in its entirety. And maybe I'm cash flowing a little bit. Beyond that, I would argue that, we know that rate cuts, you made a video about this on YouTube, I think it was yesterday. Rate cuts are around the corner, generally speaking, call it Q3 or Q4 this year. So the Federal Reserve will likely cut interest rates by, fingers crossed, 75 basis points over the next 12, 18 months. And once that transpires over the several coming years now, I'm sure rates will continue to trend lower, allowing you to refinance the property and maybe even lower your mortgage beyond that. And then maybe if even additional money on top of that, maybe you want to pay this off sooner. So maybe you take any additional cash flow after you have your reserves and stuff for your rainy day fund within this real estate property. You're paying down aggressively on this house. So eventually, you call it $2,000 here and $2,000 here on the duplex, and maybe you were only cash flowing $500 or $600 before. Well, you pay it off, and now you're cash flowing $4,000, right? Yeah. That's crazy. That to me is like unbelievable. And I'm sure you've experienced something similar with your real estate ventures as well. But like once these things are paid off, they cash flow like a bandit.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting is, I think people in the Midwest. So I got started in real estate during the bottom of the 2008 crash.
Nice.
So
congrats.
No, thank you. But the reason why I say that is because I think people who kind of saw that, because I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
When people saw the 2008 crash, people are naturally very understanding of real estate prices can fall. Like they don't always go up. So like for me, when I invest in real estate, it has to cash flow. I will not invest in real estate if it does not cash flow. But I've met a lot of investors, especially out of the Midwest, who feel very different, where they'll buy property and it will lose money every month because their goal is, I bought this property for $300,000. I'm going to sell it for $375 in 12 months. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Not even flippers, where they'll put in a tenant and, maybe they'll be break even, or maybe they'll, pay off couple $100 a month just to make whatever tax bills.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's a very dangerous game, just because I remember the other side. And so you got to pick the right game for you. But for me, because you're talking about how you're not too worried about the cash flow. For me, it's very different, which I think now for somebody listening or watching this is you got to know the game. You got to know your strategy. Because for me, if it doesn't cash flow, I won't invest in it. And I think that's something just important for anybody to understand, is what is their strategy, and understand how you're going to make money and understand the risks with that.
Yeah.
Because there's risks with whatever you do in real estate, but you got to know your goal. You got to know your strategy. That way you know what your plan is.
100%. And just to clarify too, the property that I do rent out, it does cash flow, right? But I don't realize any of that cash as an owner. I don't put it in my personal checking account. It just, stays in that separate account, builds upon itself, and I only tap into it when something goes wrong or
Sure, yeah.
stuff like that. So I don't I'm not like banking on it to pay my own mortgage or like, pay my groceries for the month, because that's, unpredictable things that might happen. I like the dishwasher breaking, right? But I couldn't agree more. I think that looking at real estate deals as someone who is still learning the process and still learning my own strategies in real estate, that ensuring that something does cash flow, incredibly important.
If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you gotta do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.